Cyclones versus the Little Hawks earlier this season. And here come the Little Hawks onto the field as they come out in their home reds and looks like scarlet, actually it looks like gray pants, white numerals. And of course the Tiger Hawk logo after the Iowa Hawkeyes, an impressive squad and a great tradition here with Coach Sabers and the Iowa City High Little Hawks.
Coach Sabers is quite the football coach. He's been around a long time. He's got great tradition, and that guy knows how to coach a football game, and we're very lucky to have a great coach on our side as well. And Jake Mueller, who is just getting better and better every year, isn't he?
Jake Mueller surrounds himself with a terrific staff, the former Cedar Fall Tiger, and, a little bit of he's coached with some great coaches. He played for Pat Mitchell, of course, a legendary coach at Cedar Falls. And, of course, here in Muscatine, got to work with the likes of Jerry Teal and Brian Sauser, John Each, and a whole host of terrific coaches, and they've all influenced him in his young coaching career. The Muskies in the corner of the end zone ready to take the field, of course, in their road whites, Vegas gold and purple trim, and the Vegas gold helmets with the Muskie spear, no question about it. And here come the Muskies onto the field, led by Coach Jake Mueller, Chuck Van Heck at the 25, and Chuck never misses a night, does he, Jim?
Chuck Van Heck never misses. He coaches the sophomore team, then he turns right around and he helps coach the varsity team. What would we do with our good get-back coach, huh?
Chuck Van Heck, certainly a dear friend to all of us and a great influence to many in the community of Muscatine. Ryan Brennan will kick off for the Little Hawks. The Muskies send deep. And, of course, we're in the misty fog here, and it seems like the two times we've been here in the last 2 years, Jim, it's been just like this.
They may not let us back for another game.
Summers, Johnson, and Kovac deep. They're flanked on the 15 and 10. There's the kick, and it's a pop fly down the left side. Summers takes it at the 20, 25, gets to the outside to about the 31, and he's thrown down out of bounds by Evan Grace.
Yeah, it looked like Summers slipped just a little bit, but not a bad starting spot for the Muskies there.
Good field position for the Muskies in their opening drive. They're going to spot this one on the 31-yard line where the Muskies will open up on offense. Feels like the London fog there, Jim.
Yeah, the Muskie student section threw some.
Is it the powder?
I think so.
Kovac must be in the house. Johnson and Ellis in the backfield for the Muskies. They go twins left, Reed to the right. Wieskamp gets a snap, sets his feet, back to pass, looks. He's going to go deep for Beatty on the side. That's incomplete, broken up at the 40-yard line in Little Hawk territory. Play broken up there by Naheem Smith.
I like the aggressive start by Jake Mueller coming out with a big-time pass there. Brian, maybe get a Little Hawks off their feet a little bit.
Muskies go trips left with Smith, Beatty, and Reed. Robertson to the right. Ellis in the backfield with Wieskamp. 2nd and 10 Muskies on the 31. Wieskamp back to pass, sets his feet, fires over the middle. He's got Smith at the 35, Isaiah to the 40, and spins for a first down at the 42. And it'll be first down Muscatine on their own 42-yard line.
Well, Isaiah Smith comes out and just does a nice little route, gets in between the backs and the linebackers, and was open there for a nice catch.
No score, just underway, 11:30 to play in the first. Muskies go 4 wide. Wieskamp gets a snap. They're throwing again, back to pass. Flares it out to Johnson in the flag. Kevin eludes a tackler, 45, midfield. Still on his feet, first down yardage into Little Hawk territory, and pounded out of bounds at about the 46-yard line. We'll call it a gain of 12 and another first down for the Muskies.
Well, Johnson, he's got, he averages 62 or 417 carries this year, and he averages 6.7 a carry.
Muskies in hurry up in the 45, give to Ellis, straight up the gut. Devontae breaks one tackle, and then he's brought down at about the 42, a gain of 3. Depending the spot, we'll call it 2nd and 7 Muscatine on the Little Hawk 42-yard line.
You know, last year Devontae had a great game here, Brian.
Huge game, and we saw Austin Moss earlier across the way, and that was a game Austin couldn't go on that bum ankle. Don't you think he'd like to suit up again tonight? Yeah. Trips left for the Muskies, 2nd and 7. Johnson over the right side, cuts it back, 40, look out, 35, 30. He's got an alley, 20, 15, 10, 5 to the house, and there's a flag at the 31-yard line. It might bring this back. It would have been a 42-yard touchdown run pending the penalty. And they're going to call holding on the Muskies. A big flag on the Muskies.
Well, boy, that really hurts. Johnson made a heck of a move to get to the outside, and then he just turned the Jets on. But hopefully we can get that back.
They'll spot it back to the 41. It'll be 2nd down, 6 now for the Muskies. The flag penalty occurred on the 31. It helped spring Kevin. But the Muskie offense looks like they're off and running. Quads left for the Muskie, Beatty to the right. 2nd and 6 from the Little Hawk 41. Wieskamp back to pass. He's got time. He throws deep for Beatty at the 10. Overshoots him and out of bounds. And it's going to be 3rd and 6. Muskies want 4 receivers to the left, Beatty to the right. Didn't fool the Little Hawks as they had him double covered. 3rd down and 6. Same formation for the Muskies. Beatty to the right. 4 receivers to the left. Matt gets a snap. It's a quarterback draw. He's at the 40. Cuts the outside. Got a block. 35. Oh, he slips out of bounds at the 30-yard line. A gain of 11 and a first down Muscatine.
Yeah, the field's looking a little sloppy here a little bit. I mean, it looks good from here, but we've seen a couple players slip, so it must be kind of slick out there, Brian.
A little bit of light rain, mist. Doesn't look like much right now, but it does accumulate. Trips right for the Muskies. Beatty left. 1st and 10. 10 minutes to play in the first quarter. No score. Matt gets a snap. Back to pass. Muskies are throwing. They flare it out to Beatty, and it's caught. And inside the 20, and it looks like another first down. Down to the 19, a gain of 11, first down Muscatine.
Wow, how big of a catch was that by Spencer Beatty? The ball was way above his head. He just held up one hand and caught that ball there, Brian.
Spencer playing with 2 hands, but one has a cast on it. So he caught that with his right hand. He flared it up, caught it again. Bunch to the right, Beatty to the left. Back to pass Wieskamp. They got a screen to Beatty. Inside the 15 and down to the 13. A gain of 6. And Jake Mueller's throwing every play in the playbook at him so far. Be 2nd and 5. They'll spot it just inside the 14. Muskies go twins right. Wieskamp gets a snap. Gives to Ellis. Actually, Matt keeps it inside the 10. Still on his feet down to the 5.
Great hard run by Matt Wieskamp there. And he fools you every time on that, Brian.
Great fake. Devontae got tackled by 4 guys, and Wieskamp ran it for 9 down inside the 5. Actually, Jim, it looks like it's spotted at the 4. Tough to see. 1st and goal, Muskies at the 4. Wieskamp rolls to his right. Looks, plenty of time. Now he steps, he fires the back of the end zone to Beatty. Touchdown, Muscatine.
I don't know how Matt could see Spencer over those defenders.
He was waving his arms in the back of the end zone. Wieskamp rolled out at plenty of time. And just like that, the Muskies take the opening drive 69 yards. and they cash in Wieskamp to Beatty, I think officially, at a 5-yard touchdown pass. Muskies lead 6-zip, and Yates is on for the PAT. Good snap, good hold, and Yates' kick is on the way. And it is good. 9:10 to play in the first. The Muskies 7, the Little Hawks nothing. We're stepping away for 30 seconds.
Successes in athletic organizations, membership, and active participation can boost your fun. Here's a little Little Hawks Club, and it's all 21 interscholastic sports, along with cheer and dance. Please join the Little Hawks Club and ask where you can do that. Right now, the Little Hawks Club is set up behind the Reed School press box, selling a variety of apparel and spirit items.
Back at Bates Field in Iowa City, and the Muskies didn't take too long there. 2 minutes, 50 seconds off the clock. 10 plays, 69 yards, capped off by a 5-yard strike from Wieskamp to Beatty, and they lead 7-zip. And Jim, that also was a 42-yard run nullified for a touchdown by Kevin Johnson.
Yeah, I really like the play calling there by Jake Mueller. A lot of passing, and we look comfortable right now, and that's a good thing.
McKinney and Whelan back, standing under 2-yard line to receive the kickoff from Tyler Yates. DeJuan McKinney, 6'1", 202, and a senior, along with a sophomore. There's the kick, and it's going to be rolls into the corner there of the end zone for a touchback. Jim, that was hugging the sideline. I was glad it stayed in bounds.
Yeah, it sure was. And who was that over there that was going after the ball? Was that McKinney?
Yep.
He slipped himself, so the field must be kind of wet down there. Well, we know it is. It's been misting, but, I mean, the footing is not very, very solid right now.
City High breaks a huddle from the sideline, and here they come. They've got Fellows flanked wide right, Lee to the left, Whelan in the backfield along with McKinney. And there's a give over left tackle over the 20 to about the 25-yard line. Check that. That's Fredu, Michael Fredu.
Boy, Fredu came through there quick, didn't he, Brian?
Yes, he did. He hit the hole hard. They got a surge. And on first down, Iowa City gains 5. It'll be 2nd and 5 from their own 25.
They look like they got some pretty good beef up front for that Little Hawk team.
You know, last year, Jim, we came in here and they just pounded the football. And they had Washburn, who was a heck of a back, and he had big, thick legs, and I think he carried it at least 30 times. He hardly left the field. And that's what City High does. They just line up and smash mouth you. Fredu in the backfield, Whelan. 2nd and 5, Little Hawks. Motion man on the play is Nowak, and there's Whelan's going to keep it. He cuts it back, 30. First down to about the 33. Gain of 8, Little Hawk first down.
Well, Whelan's one of those guys we talked about that we're going to have to really contain, and he's a playmaker. That guy is a passer and a runner. He's a lot like, he mirrors Matt Wieskamp on our side of the football.
No question. It's 6'1", 183, and only a sophomore. Leads the team, of course, in passing and rushing. And he was a captain, as we mentioned before the game. 1st and 10, Little Hawks on their own 33-yard line. 8:06 to play in the first quarter. The Muskies 7, Iowa City High nothing. Whelan gets a snap. He gives to Fredu. He's got a huge one over the 40, out over the 45, and he's still breaking tackles. And there's a brand of physicality that he brought to the game over midfield into Muscatine territory at the 48. We're going to call it a gain of 19 on first down.
Boy, when Fredu gets that ball, he's planning on doing something with it. He comes through that line and just plows over guys. That is quite a runner.
2 first downs so far on 3 runs. 1st and 10, Little Hawks. Nose of the football just inside the Muscatine 48. Whelan gets a snap to Fredu, same play, straight up the gut, and he gains a big chunk of yardage. Down to the 41, a gain of 7, 2nd and 3.
Well, we've seen this a couple times this year, Brian, where teams just start plowing on us and hitting that middle. Our defensive line has got to come alive right now and stop those guys.
7-yard gain down to the 41-yard line. Second down 3.
Whelan looking over to get the play from the sideline. Play clock, it's nice, Jim. They've got it on both corners of the end zone, so we don't have to guess. We know where it's at. And it's under 10 right now as City High breaks the huddle.
Big
Fellows and Lee flanked out. And there's a keeper this time by Whelan. He's inside the 40. Going to be short of the first down. It'll bring up 3rd and 1. It looks like just outside the 39-yard line.
big third down coming up. I really like what Iowa City's offensive line is doing right. I mean, they're really doing some nice.
They're really getting off the football.
They are. They're quick. I can't believe how
They're
quick
exploding off the football. As we said, a week ago they really played wash tough. They lost 28-7. Score might be a little deceiving because City High outplayed them in the first half. 3rd down in the yard. Whelan fakes a toss, keeps it, and he's got some room. 35-30, and Robertson tries to push him down, but he doesn't go down. And it's going to be a touchdown run of 39 yards for the sophomore Nate Whelan. And just like that, at the 6-minute mark of the first quarter, it's the Muskies 7 and the Little Hawks 6.
Yeah, you can't just push him. He's not going to go over like a weeble wobble. He needs to be tackled.
Kept his feet, good balance as Robertson tried to push him to the ground. At about the 20, he kept his footing and danced into the end zone. And pending the extra point, this thing could be tied up. Ryan Brennan on for the PAT. As they wait a lineman to race on, they didn't have enough guys there. And Micah Martin, the fellow that came on, 6'8", 277, Jim. 6'8". And there's the approach and the kick. Boy, he's got a leg. And it is good. 6 minutes to play in the first. We're tied at 7. We're stepping away for 30 seconds. Back at Bates Field, Iowa City High School. City High goes 6 plays, 80 yards in 3 minutes, 10 seconds, and it's capped off by the sophomore Nate Whelan, 39-yard touchdown run, and we're all tied at 7, the 6-minute mark of the first quarter.
How big of a player is that Whelan going to be the next 2 years?
He's a player already. You can tell he's got terrific speed and certainly doesn't lack confidence. Brennan will kick off. Kovac and Summers are flanking Johnson, who is deep. There's the kick, and it's a ground ball to Summers at about the 20. David gets it at the 25, 30. Summers cuts it hard up inside to about the 34-yard line, and the Muskies again will have good field position to start their second drive. Muskies come out, and they've got trips to the right, which is Robertson, Reed, and Smith. Ellis in the backfield with Wieskamp. Beatty wide left. 1st and 10 Muskies. Ball to 35. Wieskamp back to pass. Sets, dances, throws over the middle. Robertson, and it's almost intercepted. That ball's on the ground. A good effort on a play by Evan Grace. Robertson his hands. Then Grace went up, almost had it. Jimmy dropped it, and then he trapped it against the ground.
Yeah, luckily for us that he couldn't hold on to it because that had interception and a couple yards all over it.
That would have been a big play for City High and a bummer for the Muskies, and they dodge a bullet there. Trips left, Robertson to the right. Ellis in the backfield with Wieskamp. Motion man is Beatty. There's a give to Ellis over the left side. Nowhere to go as he's thrown to the ground hard by Charles Johnson. It'll be 3rd down 11 for the Muskies.
Big third down play, Brian. Let's see what Coach Mueller has in store.
Call a loss of 2. It'll be 3rd and 12 Muscatine from their own 33. Beatty and Reed to the right. Smith to the left. 2-back set this time. Or actually, it's Snyder back there. There's a little pitch to Ellis, and that's going nowhere. He's going to lose a yard. And the Muskies going to have to punt this one away. Back to the 32. The Muskies incomplete pass on first down and losses of 2-1 on consecutive running plays. Actually, that was a little shovel pass because that was a forward pitch. Wieskamp on to punt. And Grace stands back on his 32. There's the kick, and it's a low kick, and it's going to take a Muskie roll and stop dead at about the 36-yard line. So a 32-yard punt, no return, and City High is in business with good field position on their own 36. 4:41 to play in the first quarter.
Boy, they sure are, Brian. I tell you what, that's almost too good a field position for this team, the way they've came out running that last offensive series.
Fredu came into the game averaging 5.1 a carry, Whelan 5.5. They didn't disappoint in the first drive. No throwing there. They just ran it the first time, 69 yards, or 80 yards in total for their first touchdown. Fredu in the backfield. Lee and Fellows split right and left. There's a give to Fredu. He's got a hole again over the 40 to about the 43, and they're playing smash mouth there.
Yeah, boy, they sure are, because the offensive line's not doing anything special. They're just straight out blocking, but Fredu comes through that line just like a rocket, a bullet shot out of a gun, and when he hits that line, he's just going 100 miles an hour.
Gain of 7, 2nd and 3, Iowa City High on their own 43.
It's a typical Iowa City High, offense that you would expect.
Fellows to the right. Fredu in the backfield, Whelan. And it's Whelan this time, and he slips, and he regains his balance to get out to about the 45. He's going to gain a couple. It'll be 3rd down and less than a yard for Iowa City High. City High, Jim, 5 sophomores on their varsity roster. So, and we saw what their sophomore team looked like. It's pretty impressive group. A bright future here for Coach Sabers and his City High faithful. Dylan Lee to the left. Griffin Fellows to the right. Fredu and Whelan in the backfield. And this one's going to be Fredu, and he's got a first down out to midfield. Gain of 5, 1st and 10, Little Hawks.
Well, Fredu's getting about 5 yards every time he touches the ball.
3:17 and ticking in the first quarter. We're all tied at 7.
5-yard gain out to midfield. 1st and 10, City High.
Very deliberate too, Jim. Similar to Atoma that way. They just get their play call, they go up, and then they smash you,
They sure don't look like a 2-6 team, that is for sure. And that's what we said at the beginning of the broadcast.
That's part of their youth. Those kids have grown up. They're no longer that young. I mean, they've got a lot of games under them. Whelan gives to Fredu over the left side. Muskie stacked this one up, and he spins out of it. Nobody wrapped up, and Fredu's down to the 25, to the 21 before he's finally brought down by Drew Greenhaw and Dalton Hart. Jim, he spun out of a tackle at the line of scrimmage, and the Muskie's got to wrap up him or he's going to continue to run hard.
Well, this Fredu kid had 83 attempts and 420 yards and was averaging 5 yards a carry, and I can see why.
Gain of 30 down to the Muscatine 20, and it's 1st and 10 Little Hawks as they're tapping into the red zone on their second drive of the game. Fellows and Lee right and left, Fredu and Whelan in the backfield, same formation. There's a give to Fredu. This time the Muskies stack it up. Boy, he breaks another tackle, though. As it looked like initially Summers was in on the play and company. Robertson and Madrigal helped bring him down at the end.
The thing is, Brian, we're getting an initial hit on him, but he keeps going and going and going that he breaks out of that initial hit. And that's where we need to get more defenders who are going to help with the tackle.
2-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 8 City High on the Muskie 18. Under 2 minutes to play in the first. We're tied at 7. City High hasn't thrown a pass yet. Fellows and Lee. White, right and left. Whelan gets a snap. He gives to Purdue and up the gut, and he's going to get down to the 15. Muskies are solid there. It's going to be 3rd and 5 for the 15, a gain of 3.
Our stats doctor's saying that Purdue's averaging right now is at 10 yards a carry. So far in the first half, that's a lot.
Yeah, he's ripped off some chunks. Whelan's got to be up there too. McKinney checks in now as Purdue a little tired from all those carries. And now number 8's in the backfield, Will Nowak. Whelan, it's a keep. Actually, it's a shovel pass to McKinney, and that opens up like the Red Sea. And he's down towards the goal line. Touchdown, Little Hawks. 15-yard pitch and catch from Whelan to McKinney, and a great design play. And the Muskies trail 13-7 with 54 seconds to play in the first quarter.
Well, they've got some weapons, Brian, and we got to figure out which one to stop.
Brennan on for the PAT. Good snap, good hold, and the kick is on its way. And it is good. 54 seconds to play in the first. Iowa City High 14 to Muskies 7. We're stepping away for 30 seconds. Jimmy, that's your song back at Bates Field. The Muskies trail 14-7 with 54 seconds to go in the first quarter. 64 yards in 7 plays, a 15-yard shovel pass from Nate Whelan to DeJuan McKinney. Their first pass of the game was about a yard in the air, Jim, but it was very effective as McKinney went over the right side for the score. Brennan will kick off. Summers, Johnson, and Kovac deep for the Muskies. And the Muskies look like they may be in a shootout tonight. There's the kickoff. Kovac's going to take it as he retreats to about his 10. He's at the 15, 20, 25. Kovac over the 30, 35. Nice return by Brandon Kovac. And the Muskies again will have good field position to start their drive.
Well, I think we can, offensively, Brian, it looks like we are able to pass against this Little Hawk team. Running-wise, right now we haven't found a really a good way to run against this
We haven't really committed to the run. Trips right. Smith to the left. Ellis in the backfield with Wieskamp. Matt gets a snap. Back to pass. Sets. Fires. And it's batted down. Incomplete. And it was knocked down by Charles Johnson, 6'2", 217, and a sophomore.
Johnson came in with his arms up.
He looks taller than 6'2", the way he's lined up. 2nd and 10. And there's a give. Actually, Wieskamp keeps it. He runs over the left side. Matt's going to gain a few yards out near the 40. So it'll bring up 3rd down for the Muskies, depending on the spot. A gain of 5 to the 39. 3rd down and 5.
Well, another big 3rd down here. You got to think that that Beatty's going to be a target on this play, wouldn't you?
Trips right for the Muskies. Smith to the left. Wieskamp back to pass. He rolls to his right. Fires downfield for Robertson. Overshoots him in Little Hawk territory. The Muskies going to have to kick this one away.
Just overthrew Robinson.
Wieskamp will stay on to punt. Evan Grace will be deep for the Little Hawks. Muskies in a rugby formation. Matt rolls to the right. He may keep it. He's going to try to get the first down with his feet. He does! Matt Wieskamp. And boy, Jim, that was close, and he has that option Matt liked what he saw, kept the football, and on 4th down and 5, runs for a first down out to the 45. So he gained just enough, but that's all we needed. He needed to get just past the 44, and he got it. Muskies with a bunch right. And Wieskamp back to pass on first down. Flares it out to Beatty. Spencer jitterbugs over midfield. 45-40. Look out. Beatty 30 and into Little Hawk territory. Brought down at around the 26-yard line. 31 yards from Beatty, or Wieskamp to Beatty. And as we start the second quarter, the Muskies will be on the 26-yard line of Little Hawks territory. After one, Iowa City High 14 to Muskies 7. We're stepping away for 60 seconds. Back at Bates Field, Iowa City, Iowa. City High School, the Muskies trail the Little Hawks 14-7 after one. The Muskies took the opening drive. 69 yards for a touchdown. Matt Wieskamp to Spencer Beatty, 5 yards for the score. The Little Hawks responded 80 yards, and Nate Whelan ran 39 yards for a touchdown. And then the Little Hawks scored just a few minutes ago before the end of the quarter on a shovel pass from Whelan to McKinney for 15 yards. Muskies trying to answer that one as they have first down on the Little Hawk 26-yard line after a big pass play, actually a fake punt first as Wieskamp kept it and got the first down, and then a play from Wieskamp to Beatty. The Muskies bunch right. There's Wieskamp dancing to the outside, needs a block. Matt goes to the edge, going to gain a few, and he's ushered out of bounds at about the 21-yard line. Looks like a gain of 5.
Yeah, that time Iowa City played it very well. They just spread out the Muskie offense there, and Matt ran out of room.
Call it a gain of 5 to the 21. Trips left for the Muskies, 2nd and 5. Wieskamp and Johnson in the backfield. Matt keeps it again. Big hole up the middle. Matt Wieskamp gets to the edge. Down to about the 10 before he's tripped up. And we'll see if he's inside the 10. That's on the far side, Jim. I believe he is. It's probably going to be 1st and goal Muskies.
He almost broke the tackle there, Brian.
It's 1st and goal from the 9, so that's another gain of 12 on a first down. Same formation. Wieskamp, the Muskies leading rusher. Matt back to pass, sets his feet. Plenty of time, rolls to his right. Now he runs, and he's pushed out of bounds after a short gain, and the Iowa City High player goes down quickly there, Jim. Aaron Kimber.
Yeah, let's hope he's okay because he went down hard on that far side there.
He hit the track, and he pulled up, and it's Nicole Calvert is attending to him over there, and let's hope he's all right.
Yeah, I mean, he hit that track hard, and, you know, you got cleats on, and it gets slick over there.
Yeah, he's in a lot of pain. He's rolling around. And now he gets up. I can't feel good. Tough kid, though. He gets up. Kimber, the 5'10", 170-pound senior, being helped off by the City High training staff. 11:35 to play in the first half, and the Muskies trail 14-7. Wieskamp got down to the 6. Kind of hard to pick up the actual yardage marker from here to there where our angle is. We're on about the 30-yard line, and they're on the opposite goal line, so it's a long ways, even with binoculars, Jim.
And with my bad eyesight, binoculars don't even help. So
2nd and goal Muskies on the Little Hawks 6. Snyder, Beatty, and Reed to the left for the Muskies. Smith to the right. Ellis in the backfield with Wieskamp. Matt gets a snap, rolls to his left, run pass option. He rolls out of it. Now he throws, and it's incomplete at the goal line. And Matt did a smart thing getting rid of that one. Beatty was in the end zone. Incomplete.
Yeah, boy, it sure was a smart thing by Matt. It's great to have a smart senior leader out there. And big third down coming up, Brian. We really need to put it in.
Big play for the Muskies. It's smart we say that because Matt was ready to be sacked on the 13, but he got rid of the football. 3rd and goal Muskies on the Little Hawks 6-yard line. 4 wide for the Muskies. Johnson in the backfield. Matt back to pass. Rushes on. Matt rolls out of it. Runs to his right. Looks. Fires to the end zone. Complete. Touchdown. Gary Robertson. Wieskamp to Robertson for 6 yards. And at the 11:20 mark, it's City High 14 and the Muskies 13.
Well, Robertson just came and just set up right in the end zone. And Matt found him and just threw the ball up and said, catch it if you can.
It's a great play by your senior quarterback and leader, Wieskamp. The rush was coming from that side. Matt eluded it, bought himself a couple of seconds, and he found the open receiver. Yates on for the PAT. The approach and the kick. And it is no good. 11:20 to play in the half. The Muskies trail 14-13. Stepping away for 30. You listen to Muskie football. Back at Bates Field, Iowa City High School. Muskies answer the drive with a touchdown. The PAT is wide left. 11 plays, 64 yards. A key play there was Matt Wieskamp's run on the 4th down and 5 in punt formation. Got the first down. The very next play was a 31-yard pass play to Spencer Beatty, and from then on the Muskies punch it in 3rd and goal. Beatty to Robertson, 6 yards and a touchdown. 11:20 to go in the first half, 14-13 City High. Yates will kick. Whelan is deep along with McKinney. And there's the approach, a run up and a kick. And it's going to be McKinney, and he slips and falls. He's down at the 1-yard line. And Jim, he's slipped a few times out there on the field. Muskies actually are going to spot it on the 2, and what a break that is for the Muskies.
That is a huge break, Brian, because that kid's got some speed, and they're, like we said, this field of footing is not that great right now out there. And that little miss that happened during the sophomore game made this a very slick field to play on right
McKinney
now.
retreated it, caught it right around the goal line, took one step, and he slipped immediately and fell on the 2. Muskie defense, now's the time if you're going to stiffen up on that run game to do it. City High now comes out with their formation of trips left. Whelan and Purdue in the backfield. They've been big all night. There's the snap. Whelan's going to keep this one, and he's got some room over the left side. And Kovac brings him down as he gets out over the 5 to about the 7 or 8 yard line.
Well, gave themselves a little more running room. And you got to think, Whelan can pass the ball. He's got 80 or 95 completions this year.
Gain of 5 to the 7. It'll be 2nd down and 5, City High. Big opportunity for Muscatine. They haven't been able to stop City High thus far. Trips to the left. Friedel in the backfield along with Whelan. Now that's a quarterback draw, and he's swallowed up immediately on the play, and it looks like Grant Draper for the Muskies. Grant Draper, the senior, who's played big all year. No gain on the play. It'll be 3rd and 5 from the 7. I don't look for City High to put it in the air here, Jim.
Well, I got to tell you, that was a great play by Grant, and you got to shed your blocker and then see where the ball is. And you're right, Brian. They haven't passed really much tonight. I got to think they're going to go with Purdue or quarterback keeper and Whelan.
Fellows to the right, Lee to the left on 3rd and 5. Purdue gets this one over the left side. He's got first down yardage and more. Look out. 30, 35. Greenhaw runs him down, and Hart brings him down at the 43-yard line. And on 3rd and 5 from the 7, they rip off 36 yards.
Well, and when you got a back like Purdue in the backfield, why put it up in the air? That guy just got you more than what a pass probably would have.
No doubt about it, as Purdue's having himself quite a night on senior night here. He came into the game, 420 total yards, and Doc, he's got to be at 100 or so already tonight in the first half. Or close.
114.
114 yards. We haven't played a half yet.
9 rushes.
Double tights again for City High. Smash Mouth City from them. This one's wheeling over the right side, over the 45 to midfield, and into Muscatine territory at the 49, a gain of 8, 2nd and 2.
Well, Muscatine has to realize senior night, home field, playing for a number 2 seed in district. We got to step up our game, and Iowa City has certainly stepped up their game, and they're saying they deserve to be the number 2 seed in our district. We need to prove to them that we are. We've got a heck of a battle on our hands.
2nd and 2, City High on the Muskie 49. Clock's under 9 minutes to go in the first half. The Muskies trail 14-13. Same formation, double tights. Purdue and Wheelan in the backfield. And this one goes to Purdue, and he's got a big hole again. 45-40, look out, down to the 30-yard line. 19 yards. It'll be first down, City High.
You know, he's just running over that right guard every time. Purdue is. He's just following the right guard block, and it seems to open up a huge hole for him. And he's just gaining daylight every time he runs.
Muskies have not been run on like this all season. They've been really good against the run, really for the most part of this season. I mean, they were gashed for a couple of big plays against Wash. And Ottumwa had some long drives, but nothing like this. 1st and 10. And there's a give to Purdue. This time, Devontae Ellis checks into the game and takes Purdue down right at the line of scrimmage on a big hit.
Well, Devontae came in from that linebacker spot, found Purdue right there, and put a good lick on him.
No gain, 2nd and 10. City High, an impressive unit thus far. They might be the best 2-6 team in the state. 1st and 10, double tight formation. Whelan gives to Purdue. Actually, he keeps it over the left side, and he's got a ton of room. Look out, 20, 15, inside the 10 where he's taken down from behind by Yates. It'll be 1st and goal, Little Hawks.
Wow. You know, just watching in the binoculars there, because they're right in front of us, the blocking's nothing special, but they're just gaining some big holes, and these runners are just coming through that line of scrimmage with so much power and speed.
Gain of 24. It'll be 1st and goal as Wheeland is limping noticeably as Yates took him down. Just to get him down, had to hit him low. City High is going to call a timeout. Whelan's really limping. I think they want to give him a little bit of a blow. We're stepping away for 30 seconds. The Muskies trail by 1. You listen to Muskie Football. Back at Bates Field as it's timeout. Little Hawks, their first timeout of the first half. They lead the Muskies 14-13, 7:06 to play. A couple of stats here, 133 yards rushing already for Purdue, the fine tailback for City High. The quarterback, Whelan, their leading rusher on the year, 8 carries, 88 yards. So, Jim, between their tailback and quarterback, they've already run for 221 yards in the first half.
Unbelievable.
1st down and goal. They're going to spot this actually on the 7, they're going to call it. For Iowa City High, Purdue in the backfield. Whelan runs out that time, so he looks like he's cured his ailment. Gets a snap, gives to Purdue over the left side. He's inside the 5 to about the 3. That's where Ellis takes him down, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
Well, we got to spread out the field, make it a little wider there. We were talking about how we are bringing guys in the box, but spread it out a little wider and really make them beat you if they're going to beat you to go out wide outside. Because right now we're not containing the edges like we were talking about, and that's something we need to do here on defense.
2nd and goal from the Muskie 3. City High looking to build on their 1-point lead. Purdue in the backfield with Whelan. Double tight formation. Whelan gives to Purdue again over the left side. He into the end zone. Touchdown. Did not get tackled as he got hit at the goal line and walks in. At 6:25 to play in the first half. Iowa City High 20 and the Muskies 13.
Well, very impressive runners Iowa City's got, Purdue and Whelan. Those two guys.
And they're going to go for 2 here. They're not going to tack on the 1. They've got Muscatine up by 7 as we missed our PAT. So they're going to go for 2, Jim, and try to make this a 9-point game. Leon Fellows at wide receiver. Purdue in the backfield, Whelan. And there's a false start penalty, and now he may kick the PAT. As Coach Saber's not happy on the sideline, Jim.
Well, understandably so. And, yeah, that's what they're going to do.
And they're going to kick it. Not sure what they're going to call there, but they were, I think Coach Sabers knows he's got to put a lot of points up because he knows the Muskies are going to score some points.
They sure are.
So let's see if the Muskies can maybe get a block here, huh? And keep it on a 7-point line.
Oh, that would be a great thing.
Ryan Brennan, 6-foot senior on for the PAT, and it's bobbled. Oh, and the Muskies looked like they had an opportunity to block it, and they held up.
I think we did. We did kind of hold up.
And the kick is good. 6:25 to play and a half. 21-13 City High. We're stepping away for 30. Listen to Muskie football. Brian Musell, Jim Miller, the stat doctor, Mark Hansen handed me this. Muskies had a golden opportunity there as they pinned City High down to the 2 after the kickoff, and on 3rd and 5 from the 7, they escape with a huge Purdue run. They go 9 plays, 98 yards, and a 3-yard touchdown run by Michael Purdue, and they lead the Muskies 21-13. There's the kick by Brennan, and Summers will take this on the 17-yard line. He's the 25, David to the edge, 30, and he's taken out the 32, and the Muskies once again will start beyond the 30 for their drive.
Well, Doc said that City High's only had 1 pass the whole game so far.
And that was the shovel pass.
Yeah, exactly.
Which was, they haven't needed it. They've just, let's face it, they've physically dominated up front thus far. 1st and 10 Muskies on their own 31-yard line. They trail 21-13. 6:16 to play. Wieskamp back to pass. Plenty of time. Matt looks. Now he runs to the right, and he's going down at the 23-yard line, a loss of 8. Jawan McKinney. DeJuan McKinney down. It's an 8-yard loss. It'll be 2nd and 18. Trips left for the Muskies. Robertson to the right. Wieskamp back to pass. Looks, rocket screen to Smith, and it's blown up on the play. Muskies actually had two guys going for the ball, Smith and Beatty, and it was blown up on the play by Dylan Africa.
Well, I think it was a blown call by the Muskies. Both guys went after the same ball there, Brian. And one guy was supposed to be the blocker, one guy was supposed to be the catcher, and I think wires just got crossed. So big third down coming up here.
Trips left, third down and 18, 5:38. Especially with the Muskie defense been out there a long time and getting, you know, they could have used a blow. Trips left, Robertson to the right. Wieskamp gets a snap, shovel pass to Johnson, and he's getting stacked up. Going to gain about 2 or 3 over the 25 to the 26. And the Muskies going to have to kick it away on fourth down and 15.
And not a good series there for the Muskies. Hopefully our defense can come out and hold these guys, and we can get the ball back.
21-13, clock approaching 5 minutes to go in the first half.
And they're bringing the whole house. City High doesn't even have anybody back.
I think they're not going to let Muscatine fake another punt. There's no doubt. Wieskamp deep. And there's the approach and the kick by Matt. And it's a good kick and a good roll by the Muskies. It's going to be inside the 20, down to about the 17-yard line, it looks like.
Well, that gives your defense
57 yards and no return.
Gives your defense some good field to work with there. So hopefully, you know, like you said, they've been out on the field a long time defensively. They got to be getting a little winded.
4:45 to play in the first half. Imperative here for the Muskie defense to keep them off the scoreboard because City High will receive the kick in the second half.
Well, we got to find a way to stop Wheelan and Purdue, and so far that's been a real tough assignment right now for the Muskies. And hopefully the coaching staff, you know they're going to go in at halftime and make adjustments. And it's hard to make adjustments on the sideline.
Now we've got a new quarterback in the game, Jim. Now Ringen is in the game. He gets a snap. He gives to Purdue over the left side. And the Muskies stack this one up this time, and there's good pursuit and good gang tackling by the Muskies.
Well, let me tell you about this junior, Niall Rington. He's attempted 20 passes, completed 6. He's got a 30% passing rating, 97 yards. His completion's about 16 yards every time he throws it. Rushing-wise, 42 attempts for 267 yards. And he's only a junior.
Wheeland is on the side. He's got his helmet off. He's not sitting down or anything. 2nd and 11, loss and 1 there. And it's Purdue again over the right side. And the Muskies stack it up again. And I tell you what, if Wheeland can't go, I'm not saying he can't, but that's a huge loss. This kid's our leading rusher and leading passer.
It's a huge loss. And I know his ankle's got to be bothering him because I think he's a tough kid. He'd be out there, and I'm sure Coach wants him out there.
Yeah, he's testing it, and he's down there on the sideline. 3rd down and 10 as the Muskie defense with a golden opportunity once again here deep in Little Hawk territory. Clock's ticking at 3.5. I bet if the Muskies hold, Jake Mueller will burn a timeout here. Ringen in the shotgun. He gets it. He's going to roll to his right. He's looking to throw. Throws downfield. And it's almost intercepted by Brandon Kovac. Cut the route off. Great defensive effort by Kovac. And, Jim, that would have been a pick 6 if he gets that.
You betcha it would have. Brandon Kovac played that beautifully. Good rush by the Muskies on the end there. But, Brandon saw that play developing the whole time, and I thought he did intercept it.
And a great opportunity. The Muskie defense holds for the first time tonight at an opportune time. David Summers back on his own 40. 3:22 to play. City High 21 to Muskies 13. And Wheelan is into punt, Jim, so he must not be too bad. Maybe they were giving the other kid a series. And there's a short kick. And it's going to bounce. Summers takes it on the 40, 45. David at midfield. Spins down into Little Hawk territory at about the 48. Be a 12-yard punt return.
Well, when you look at the stats, Brian, Runge's got some good stats. I mean, he's rushed 42 attempts. He's got 267 yards, so I think they play him some.
First and 10 Muskies on the Little Hawk 48. 3:12 to play in the first. They go trips left with Robertson, Smith, and Reed. Beatty to the right. Ellis in the backfield. Wieskamp back to pass, and there's a flag, a late flag.
I think we
false
moved
start.
early, yeah.
Okay, false start on the Muskies. It'll be first and 15.
I was shocked he didn't blow his whistle and call it earlier. I saw it happen, but you don't want to say anything, you know.
That'll push it back to the Muskie 47. Plenty of time here for the Muskies to get a touchdown here before half, or at least get points. Muskies with all 3 timeouts remaining. Wieskamp rolls to his right, looks downfield. Now he steps up into the pocket, throws deep, throws a home run ball, and there's interference, and the Muskie's going to get a flag as the ball was intended for Colby Reed inside the 5, and he got tripped up from behind, and the Muskies are going to get a first down out of this.
Boy, that's going to be huge. And I was a little worried. I thought Colby was hurt, but he just lost his shoe when he went down. But a big pass by Wieskamp to get it down there, and Colby. That's a big play right there.
They really weren't fooled, City High, but Colby was behind the defense, and Matt aired it out, and that was really close to being a touchdown. I think if Colby doesn't get tripped up, that's 6 points. First 15-yard march off. The Muskies will get it now first and 10. They're going to spot it on the 38-yard line of City High. Muskies with trips left, Beatty to the right. Ellis in the backfield with Wieskamp. Back to pass is Wieskamp. Looks. Now he throws. Got a man at Smith. 25. Isaiah down inside the 20. And wrestled out of bounds at around the 15. We'll see where the spot is. And they're going to spot it, Jim. Right at the 15. Isaiah Zeke Smith on a 23-yard pass reception. And the Muskies in business at the Little Hawk 15-yard line.
Great play by Matt. He just went on his checks, checking each receiver. And Isaiah Smith was open.
Trips right for the Muskies. Wieskamp gets a back to pass, sets, looks, steps up into the pocket, and he runs into a lineman, but he's going to get about 3 yards down to the 12. It'll be 2nd and 7 Muskies.
Well, there again, Matt's just checking off his receivers. If they're covered, he's just going down the line, and that time he kept the ball and got some yards.
2nd and 7 Muskies at the 12. Trips left. Smith to the left, trips right. Back to pass, Matt. Steps up, fires over the middle to Robertson, and it's incomplete at the goal line. And that would have been a touchdown or right at it. And Garrett's down on the ground as a big hit applied that time by Naeem Smith.
Big hit on Garrett Robertson.
And he's down.
He went up for that ball, and I think he hates to speculate, but a wind knocked out maybe. It was a big-time hit there.
Big hit by Smith on the play.
Yep.
Nicole Calvert tending to Robertson on the field. City High training staff also out there. Garrett may have just got the wind knocked out of him. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's what it is. He's a tough kid, Brian.
He's getting up right now. Nice hand from the folks on both sides here as Robertson exits. And the Muskies will have 3rd and 7 on the Little Hawk 12-yard line.
Big 3rd down play coming up here.
Very big 3rd down play. Both teams trading jabs tonight. Beatty and Reed to the right, Smith to the left. Wieskamp gets a snap, back to pass, rolls to his right, gets a block from Ellis. Now he throws, got a man. Oh, and it's incomplete to Beatty in the end zone. Wheeling in coverage, so he's fine. He's running fine. And it's going to be 4th and 7, and we'll see if Coach Mueller goes for the field goal here. And here comes a field goal unit.
You wonder if that's why Whelan wasn't playing quarterback, Brian. He's playing in the backfield now on defense, maybe needing his speed back there to stay up with some of the receivers.
Yates will kick. It looks like a 29-yard field goal from the left hash. Snap is good, a hold is good, and the kick from Yates is good. Tyler Yates from 29, 2:07 to play and a half. City High 21 and the Muskies 16. We're stepping away for 30 seconds. Here's some Muskie football. Back at Bates Field, Iowa City High School, the Muskies go 6-play drive. Don't have the yardage here, Doc.
29 yards. Oh,
52 yards, sorry. And it was capped by a 29-yard field. Just giving you a hard time. The stat doctor is always on top of it.
don't question. We don't want him to get mad.
No, we don't want him to get mad, and Jim will have to keep the stats. Whelan and McKinney deep on about their own 2-yard line. Muskies need to get in the locker room. No worse than down 5. There's the kick by Yates, and it's going to be Whelan as he runs up and grabs it at about the 12. He's the 15, 20. He's got a seam. This kid can run over the 35 to the 36-yard line. And City High may air it out a little bit now, Jim, at the 2-minute mark of the first half.
Well, I don't think Whelan's hurt. He's running pretty well there. And I think he's coming back in at quarterback. Right?
I'm sure he is. As the one drive he was not out on the field, you certainly saw a difference.
Yeah, you really did. I mean, it looked like a tale of two teams with him on the sidelines. And I don't know if it gave our defense some confidence or what, but
Whelan and Purdue in the backfield. Big game so far for both in the first half. Whelan gives to Purdue over the left side. Muskies stack it up. They're right there in the box, Jim. Nowhere to go this time. We'll see if it's no gain or a loss. And it'll bring up second down.
well, that's twice now that Purdue's had the ball and ran, and we've stopped him pretty well, snuffed him right at the line.
No gain, 2nd and 10 from the 36. Clock's ticking away at a minute and a half. In the first half, trips left for City High. Lee to the right. Whelan gets a snap. He rolls to his left. He looks downfield. He throws, and it's incomplete and out of bounds. Good coverage on the play by Tyler Yates, and it'll be 3rd and 10.
Good coverage by Tyler Yates. Good pressure there that time by Roberson, who came in from his linebacker spot. So the Muskie defense it looks like they're starting to get it figured out a little bit, Brian.
Big opportunity once again for the Muskies here. If they can hold. 21, Coach Hawkins, Schultz, and Wilson will go to the drawing board and try to figure this thing out. If I know they have already as the game's gone on. Whelan gets a snap, gives to Purdue over the right side, bounces off a tackle, bounces off Hart, and now Greenhawk comes up and ushers him out of bounds. That'll stop the clock, and he's short of the first down. And we'll see what Coach Sabers wants to do, as this is going to be 4th down. And let's see where the spot is on the 44. It's going to be 4th down and about 3.
I think he goes for it. I think you watch.
Minute 16 to go. He could really.
Nope. Is that the punter coming in?
Well, Whelan's
their punter.
So it does look like they will kick. The Muskie's going to play punt safe here.
Boy, that was a great defensive stance there. We're getting that initial hit on Purdue. It's just bringing him down is the tough part.
There's Whelan, and he will kick it. And this off the side of his foot out of bounds. Jim Muskie's going to have an opportunity here with 3 timeouts.
Absolutely. 3 timeouts.
Let's see where this thing gets spotted. And it's certainly not where the referee, there he goes, as he always finds his man to tell him about where, and they spot it right there at the 32. So the Muskies will get it as they've held 2 times in a row defensively. First down on their own 32, 3 timeouts in their pocket. They trail 21-16 here, late in the second.
Well, let's see what Jake Mueller has in store, Brian.
Trips right. Robertson back on the field, Jim, as he's in the slot. Smith to the left. Ellis in the backfield with Wieskamp. Matt gets a snap. Back to pass. He rolls to his right. He's looking downfield. He chucks it down for Beatty, and it's complete. Inside the 40, fumbles the football, but I think the Muskies may have gotten on it.
I think we got it.
They did get on it, thank goodness.
Was that Colby Reed?
Beatty had a great play where he caught it, and Robertson, the walking wounded, dove on that and saved the Muskies big time there. The ball's going to be spotted on the 41, so we'll call it a gain of 27. Trips left. Wieskamp back to pass. Looks, steps up into the pocket. Now he throws. He's got a man, Robertson, and it's complete. And he's out of bounds, close to the first down yardage, down by the 31, and the Muscatine Muskies are in business here.
Boy, they sure are, and Jake's taking a timeout, I think, Brian.
He must not have been out of bounds then. So we'll leave it right here. And timeout Muscatine with 51.9 seconds to play in the first half. And Jim, just like that, the Muskies hold 2 consecutive drives defensively. They get a field goal on the last possession. If they can go down and get points again before half, this is huge.
You bet it is, Brian. I got to tell you what I'm liking, that I'm seeing here is our receivers seem to be a little bit quicker than their D-backs. Right now we're getting open. I don't know if it's our routes we're running or what have you, but it just seems like we're being a little quicker with our receivers, and Matt's finding the guys open.
Wieskamp has got good time, Jim, and you're right. With his feet, too, Matt buys extra time if the pressure does get to him.
Yeah, and you have to give some credit to that offensive line up front. Only one time has he been sacked, and he really hasn't been pressured really much tonight.
Muskies will go trips left. It's 2nd down and 1, and it's a short one. Inside the 32, Robertson to the right. Ellis in the backfield with Wieskamp. Both teams with 2 timeouts. Wieskamp gets it. He's going to keep it over the right side. First down yardage, 30, 25. Matt to the edge. 10, 5 to the house. Matt Wieskamp from 32 yards. And the Muskies go back on top, 22-21.
Well, how big is that when you got your senior quarterback who can pass and you can run, and he calls his own number, gets to the outside, and just outruns everybody.
Good blocking up front as the Muskies gave him an alley. And Matt Wieskamp cut it outside, and once he got to the edge, Jim, he just outran everybody. 44 seconds to play in the half, and Jake Mueller going to go for 2 here to get this to a 3-point lead. Grant Draper in the backfield, Jim. This is the first time we've seen this as they go heavy, right? Mario Madrigal at tight end. Wieskamp may follow him, and there's a snap. And there's a timeout as City High saw a formation they haven't seen yet. Coach Sabers, this isn't new to him. He's seen a lot of this stuff. A great call by him calling a timeout.
Wow. Whenever you see Grant Draper in the backfield, who's going to be blocking for you? You see that big truck coming at you, and you've got problems.
Well, they lined up, and you know what the play was. They had Madrigal, their nose tackle, who's not played any offense this year, lined up at tight end on the right side. They had Ellis, and they had Draper to Matt's right. Matt caught. They snapped it. He was running right all the way. It could have been a run-pass option. We don't know because they called timeout immediately.
You've got 3 big guys up there. That's just saying, hey, we're going to run it this way. Try and stop it when you got those 3 big horses up front to block for you. But Sabers, he's such a smart coach. And he saw that, and he's like,
Yep.
I got to call a timeout.
Yeah, very heady play by the Iowa City coaching staff there, catching that as we hadn't seen it, so we know they haven't seen it.
It's the same formation, Brian.
Same formation, but it could be Beatty to the right. I'm sure there's a run-pass option here. We'll see what the play is. This is the play Jake wants, so Jake's going to run it. And let's hope for the Muskies' sake it succeeds. 22-21, 44 seconds to play in a very entertaining first half from Iowa City High School. Wieskamp gets it. He rolls to his right. He's going to throw it. He looks downfield, chucks it to the back of the end zone to Beatty, incomplete. And the Muskies' 2-point conversion fails. We're going to step away for 30 seconds. Muskies lead 22-21. Back at City High School, the Muskies go 68 yards in just 3 plays. Matt Wieskamp from 32, and they lead 22-21. Yates with a kick. and this one's going to roll into the end zone for a touchback. And we'll see if the Muskie D can hold for the last 44 seconds. And Jim, the scoreboard we just noticed that has Little Hawks with 2 timeouts remaining in the first half. The Muskies with 1. That should be the opposite, as the Little Hawks have called 2, and Jake Mueller's only called 1. I don't know that that's going to be a factor. I know the refs should be keeping that on the field, but the scoreboard is not correct at the moment. Whelan will bring him out. What an impressive sophomore he has been all night.
Oh, my gosh. Muskie's
going to see him for sure next year, and depending on district formations, we don't know if we'll see him as a senior, and if we don't, not bad, because the kid can play. Trips to the right. Grace to the left. 1st and 10 Little Hawks on their own 20. Whelan, quarterback draw. Oh, there's big time. I don't want to say there was a hold, Jim, but there was a hold on the edge, not a flag thrown. Schroeder got spun around by hands. But nonetheless, Whelan rips off a gain of about 9. It'll be 2nd and short as he's out of bounds with 36 seconds to go.
So is that the Vision Center no call?
It was definitely a no call. And you know me, I'm not a homer, but that one, I think we all saw that one. You can watch Public Access, Channel 9. You be the judge. 2nd and 1 Little Hawks on their own 29. Trips left. Whelan back to pass, another draw. Straight up the gut, the Muskies stack it up. He's going to get a first down to about the 31, but it looks like Lopez on the stop along with Summers and Draper.
And they call a timeout.
Timeout City High. And we're going to step away for 30 seconds. The Muskies lead 22-21. Coming out of the timeout from City High, it'll be 1st and 10 Little Hawks on their own 32. 30 seconds to play in the first half. The Muskies lead 22-21. Trips left is a little more fog setting in, Jim.
I was just going to mention that.
Whelan rolls to his left, looks downfield, sets, pumps, fires, got a man. Oh, and it's intercepted on the play, and it looks like it's intercepted by Brandon Kovac in the Muskie territory at the 40. Kovac going to be taken down at the 37 with 14 seconds left. And the Muskies, there's a flag, Jim. I think they're going to call interference on the 40 as the receiver got tripped up. And, you know, I'm not sure what the ruling is. He definitely there was definite contact there by a Muscatine player on the City High receiver. And but I didn't know if they were.
But incidental, is it? I mean, you know, you've got.
Yeah, it looked like their feet. I agree with what you're saying, but we'll see what the discussion is. As Coach Mueller wants to know, too. And they're going to call pass interference on the Muskies.
Wow.
Yeah, and the Muskie faithful not liking that one across the way. City High, of course, likes it, and there was contact, no question about it. However, from our vantage point, it sure looked like it was just feet getting tangled up and tripped up. And nonetheless, the Muskies would have had first down in the Little Hawk 37 with 14 seconds left, but now City High gets a 15-yard march off to their own 47 with 13.4 to play. Coach Mueller is not happy over there. He is all over him, and Jake's got to be careful here. Whelan rolls to his right, looks downfield, throws, got a man open. It's Grace at the 41, and it's incomplete as Schroeder puts a lick on him. And it'll be 2nd and 10 with 6.5 left, Jim.
I got to tell you, Brian, this is really weird how the fog is just coming up from the field.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
It's getting worse by the minute.
If it's like the Fog Bowl with the Bears and Eagles back in the, 88 or whenever that game was played, then we may not be able to see the field in a second. This is kind of weird.
Halloween, that's right, Doc. It is. It's Halloween. If I get a chance at halftime and it's this bad and it keeps getting worse, I'll take a picture and put it on Facebook. But really interesting to look at.
Can hardly see the official
I
back
know.
there. There's Whelan. John Elshoff, I have all this on tape for you. Quarterback draw again. He's over midfield. Muskie's in pursuit, and Schroeder gets him to the ground.
Should be the
Inside the 40, and there's no time left. Folks, we played a half, and an entertaining one it is. The Muskies lead 22-21. Yates will kick off. Jim, a little different kicking formation than we've seen from the Muskies tonight, as they're doing the more traditional line it up, kick and run, stay in your lanes.
Well, don't be surprised if he tries to get it up in the clouds here.
You kick it above the clouds. I'm sure this has played into their strategy, huh? Yates will kick. There's the whistle. And, folks, we're ready for second half action as Yates will restart the game. There's the approach in the boot.
And they do.
And it's going to be Whelan on about his 10-yard line. He's at the 15-20. Dances the outside. He's to the 30, 35, and out of bounds at about the 36-yard line. A nice run. The Muskies look like they may have gotten him around the 20-25, but he escaped for more yards.
Well,
Looks like Summers on the stop.
You know, Brian, we went into halftime doing a lot better job defensively, and hopefully that can continue going into this second half.
Better dial in the binocs here. Whelan brings him out. He's going to have Fellows and Lee split right and left. Fredu in the backfield of Whelan as they had huge first halves for the Little Hawks. There's a snap. Whelan runs to his left, and the Muskies are there to greet him. A short gain of 2 or 3. Looks like several Muskies in on the play, and folks, forgive me if I don't get them all here, but I see Talon Burke and Kovac for 2.
You know, as this fog moves in, it really plays to our disadvantage because we are a passing team. They're a run team, and our passing attack's been working beautifully tonight.
2nd and 7, gain of 3 out to the 38-yard line. Same formation for the Little Hawks. Just underway in the third quarter, the Muskies 22 and the Little Hawks 21. Whelan, option to the right. He's got tons of room, and he runs over midfield 45-40 and caught from behind by Summers, or he would have scored. Another huge run by the sophomore quarterback. As they're going to spot this one on the 34-yard line, it'll be a gain of 28.
Well, sophomore there, David Summers ran him down and made the tackle. That young man has been having a heck of a year, hasn't he, Brian?
Summers leads the Muskies in tackles this season, and if you don't believe me, just look at his uniform. It's the dirtiest one on the field, right? Double tight formation. City High coming out to play smash mouth again. And there's a give this time for Fredu over the left side. Muskies stack it up at this line of scrimmage. Fredu keeps his legs churning, but he may not gain anything there. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, great defensive stop right there by the Muskies. We need a couple of those.
Muskie interior defensive line there. Lopez, Burke, Draper and company stuffed him for no gain. 2nd and 10, Little Hawks on the Muskie 34-yard line. Just underway in the third, the Muskies lead by 1. Whelan fakes the toss, keeps it over the left side. The Muskies are there, and a great open field stop that time by David Summers. The sophomore wasn't fooled that time. It'll be 3rd and 10 from the 34.
Yeah, he sure wasn't, Brian. Whelan just faked it like he pitched it to Fredu, and David Summers from his linebacker spot was right there and read that perfectly.
3rd and 10, big down for both teams on City High's opening drive of the third quarter. Clock at 10 minutes and ticking in the third. Little Hawks break the huddle. Fredu and Whelan in the backfield, double tight still. Whelan gets it. He's going to shovel pass inside. The Muskies aren't fooled this time. A short gain down to about the 31, a gain of 3, and it'll be 3rd down and 7.
I think that was Schroeder that stopped at that time. I think. I can't see.
It was complete to Fletcher, the 6', 188-pound junior. It's going to be a gain of 3 on the shovel pass. That's their second completion, Doc, and they've both been shovel passes.
Brings up a 4th down.
4th down and 7, City High from the Muskie 31-yard line. Opening drive of the third quarter. Now they come out. They've got same formation. Whelan gets a snap. He's going to option. Now he's going to keep it. And down he goes. And the Muskies hold Grant Draper on this quarterback. It's not a sack. It was a running play, but he's going to lose a yard. And the Muskies take over on their own 32-yard line.
Well, Grant Draper stayed home that time, shed his blocker, and just waited for the play to develop. And boom, Whelan came right into his wheelhouse, and Grant took him right down.
Muskies come out now. They've got Beatty and Smith to the left, Reed to the right. Double backs with Johnson and Ellis in the backfield. 1st and 10 as they hold right out of the chute. They've held 4 consecutive series on defense. Wieskamp, he's going to keep it. He's got a huge hole, 45. Matt Wieskamp over midfield and into Little Hawk territory at the 48-yard line. A gain of 20 on 1st down. And the Muskies in up-tempo.
Boy, they spotted it way back, didn't they, Brian?
Nope, I think that's where the 48-yard line, 20-yard gain, double back, same formation. Exactly. 1st and 10, Wieskamp. Barks out the signals, gets a snap, back to pass, sets his feet, pump fakes. Now he's going to roll to the right, looks downfield, throws, got a man Smith, and it's incomplete. And that ball disappeared from my eyesight
It did.
at about
Me
the
too.
35. I saw it bounce, so I knew it was incomplete. Be 2nd and 10 Muskies on the Little Hawk 48. 8:38 to play in the third. The Muskies 22 and Iowa City High 21. Twins left. It's Beatty and Smith. Reed to the right. Ellis and Johnson in the backfield. Wieskamp gets a snap. He's going to keep it again, and he's going to gain some yardage inside the 45 to about the 44. We'll call it a gain of 4. It'll be 3rd and 6.
Well, I think we're going to have to attack this from the ground because the way that fog's coming in the air is going to be really tough to throw in this fog. The receiver's seeing it, Matt being able to see a receiver.
I don't know what their vision is down there, Jim. I just know what it is here. So they may see it completely different.
That's true.
But I don't know. I mean, I can't even hardly see the Muskie players at some of them. 3rd and 6. Wieskamp back to pass. Steps up into the pocket, throws downfield, got Reed complete, and he's down to the 20 and inside the 20. Wieskamp to Colby Reed. They're going to spot this on about the 19. We're going to call it a gain of 25.
Well, obviously they can see better than we can, Brian, because that was a heck of a throw and catch.
25 yards, 1st and 10 Muskies on the Little Hawk 19. The Muskies in the red zone. Looking to bank in here. Wieskamp gets it, gives to Ellis up the gut. Not a lot of room to run. And this is where it gets really difficult to see from our vantage point.
Yeah, because they're across the way from us, and they're really in the thick of the fog.
We'll call it a gain of 3 to the 16. It'll be 2nd and 7 Muskies. 7:28 and ticking in the third. Muskies have Summers and Reed to the right, Beatty and Smith to the left, Wieskamp and Ellis. This is going to be Devontae. He's got a hole, and he may score. Touchdown, Devontae Ellis. 16 yards out as the Muskies spread him out and hammered him between the tackles, and there's a holding call. We can't see the flag, but there's a hold on the Muskies.
Yeah, we didn't even see the flag thrown, and so we certainly couldn't see the holding call, so we'll...
Not sure where the flag was, Jim, but we couldn't see that.
No.
But Ellis had a huge hole and danced straight up the gut into the end zone, and that's the second time the Muskies have had a touchdown run called back. In the first quarter, Johnson had a 42-yarder race, but the Muskies scored on that drive, so it didn't hurt them. Let's see if they can recover on this one. 2nd and 11 as it's marked back. Now we got a shovel pass inside Johnson, and he's stacked up, I want to say, around the 15.
You sure about that?
The fog continues to roll in. I'm actually relying on the scoreboard, which I hate to do. I don't know how they can see it. 3rd and 6 Muskies on the 15-yard line after the flag. Wieskamp gets it, back to pass. Steps up, looks, he's going down. And there's a quarterback sack back on about the 18-yard line.
Do we have a flag, another flag, Brian?
No, there's no flag. It's just he's winding the clock. Be 3rd and 10 now, Muskies. Loss of 4. And are they going to try to kick a field goal? It would be a, well, Jake's going to go for it. 4th down, 10 Muskies on the 18-yard line. Wieskamp gets a snap, back to pass. Good time, throws to the end zone, got a man, and it's complete, touchdown! Spencer Beatty! 4th and 18, Jim. And the Muskies go for it. Or excuse me, was it 4th and 10 from the 18? I'll get it right, but nonetheless, a touchdown pass again from Wieskamp to Beatty.
Well, I think what they decided was they just told Beatty, go to the corner in the end zone. I'm just going to throw it there.
Yeah, and hide, because your white jersey will blend in with the fog. They won't see you. Yates on for the PAT, 6 minutes to play. Get a chance to extend this to 8. Tyler's kick on the way.
Have no idea.
It is good. 6 minutes to play in the third. The Muskies 29, City High 21. We're stepping away for 30 seconds. Just a Muskie football. Back at Bates Field, Iowa City High. And the Muskies hold on their first possession, goes 68 yards and 8 plays in just over 3 minutes. And a 4th down and 10 from, we'll call it the 19. Wieskamp hits Spencer Beatty in the left corner of the end zone, and the Muskies go on top 29-21. Tyler Yates will kick off. Whelan and McKinney deep again for the Little Hawks. And Jim, this is quite a high school football game, and it doesn't get any better than Friday Night Lights, does it?
No, it doesn't.
We need Musco, though, to add some more lights to cut through this fog here.
Come up with like a fog light?
A fog bowl light, yeah. Yates on the run-up. And there's the kick to restart this thing, and it's a squibber, and it's going to be taken, I believe, by Grace. It's on the ground. Actually, it's number 4, Fletcher, and he's out over the 35 to the 37, where City High will take over with good field position on their own 37-yard line.
Well, you hope that the defense can stay pumped up. Had a good defensive series last time out. Your offense comes on the field and scores, so you hope that gives you some momentum going into this next series here.
Been a spot on 36.
And you know what? These guys have got to be having fun playing in this fog. I mean, it's like playing in snow.
They're having a blast. Whelan and Fredu in the backfield. 1st and 10, City High. Whelan gives to Fredu over the left side. Actually, It's a fake and a pass. I didn't see it. Wide open down the left sideline is Will Nowak, and the Muskies wrestle him down. Big gain on the play. Greenhaw runs him down from behind along with Kovac. And City High, just like that. Great execution, Jim, and they're down. Looks like at the 10, it'll be 1st and goal, City High.
Well, the tight end just lined up, came downfield a little bit, did a little cross pattern, and they just caught him on a slant route there, and he was wide open. There wasn't a Muskie within 10 yards of him.
You know, and they had to do that because the Muskies had to shut down the run, and that's been set up here with the success they've had in the run game. City High now trips to the right on 1st and goal. Whelan gets a snap. He's going to keep this one over the right side, inside the 5 to the 4, where Robertson brings him down. It'll be 2nd and goal.
I got to believe the boys are having some trouble seeing who's got the ball with this fog. Because that play wasn't real quick, and Whelan just kept the ball there.
2nd and goal, City High on the Muskie 4. The Muskies 29, the Little Hawks 21. Under 5 minutes now to play in the third quarter. Trips right. Whelan, he bobbles a snap, and he fumbles it, but he picks it up. bobbled it in the air and regained it. He's going to gain maybe a yard as Draper and Robertson were there to meet him, along with Ellis.
Boy, if he gets hit while he's bobbling it, that could be some. That'd be a huge play. It could have been a fumble for the Muskies.
Going to call it no gain, so it's 3rd and goal from the 4. Nate Whelan, a sophomore.
Well, the kid's played outstanding, hasn't
Him
he?
and Fredo have been a powerful 1-2 rushing attack for the Little Hawks.
Well, to have those two guys on the same team, boy, Sabres is really fortunate.
3rd and goal from the 4. Same formation. Whelan gets a snap. He gives it to Fredo straight up the gut. He lunges for the end zone, and he's going to be short. The Muskies hold him out of there, and it's going to bring up 4th down and goal from the 1. Muskies, Jim, are really swarming to the ball. They're doing a better job of that as this game's wearing on, of really everybody swarming to the football.
Well, and you attribute that to halftime, some coaching there, Brian. The coaches identified the problem, and the boys are responding.
And, folks, I got to be honest, we're not going to be able to see the touchdown unless it's obvious.
I've got my binoculars.
Or the hold. We'll see. Power formation is Whelan's under center now. He's got a fullback. I can't see the number. And they give it to Fredo, and he's going to walk into the end zone. I did see that. Touchdown. And at the 3:23 mark, it's the Muskies 29 and the Little Hawks 27, and they'll go for 2 here.
Well, that pass just was a big breaker, wasn't it?
Great play call by Coach Sabres and great execution.
It's a huge 2-point conversion.
Big time for the Muskies.
Really need to hold them here.
They go twins left, and Whelan's under center. Powerhouse backfield. Looks like Fletcher with Fredo, and they give it to Fredo over the left side. Muskies stack it up, but he eludes a tackle.
No, I don't think he got it.
I don't know if he got in.
Well, yeah, over here they're saying he did.
He did get in, and it is going to be a tie game at 29, 3:23 to play in the 3rd. We're stepping away for 30 seconds. There's the Muskie football. Back at Bates Field. Not Norman Bates Field from Psycho. Wouldn't that be appropriate, huh? Trying to think of a Halloween theme here. Little Hawks answer the Muskies drive of 64 yards and 5 plays, capped with a huge play on a play action pass to Nowak. And they score Fredo from 1 yard out on 4th down. Here's the approach and the kick, and it's a short kick, and it's going to be Johnson at the 15. He's to the 20, he runs to his right, looking for room. Kevin to the 25, over the 30, right in front of us to about the 32, 33-yard line. Good field position for the Muskies as they come out for their second drive of the second half. 29 all, 3:13 to play in the 3rd.
You know, what's interesting, Brian, also, if you're an official out there, your job gets a lot tougher in this kind of weather with this fog because it's hard to see.
Yes, it is. The ball's right in front of us here. Muskies with trips left. Ellis with Wieskamp. Back to pass is Matt. Matt throws downfield. Got a man, and it's Beatty, and he's going to score. Spencer Beatty, 10-5, touchdown. Wieskamp to Beatty, and they're dialing up a connection there. 68 yards, one play, and the Muskies go on top 35-29.
How does that happen? I couldn't even see the ball in the air, and next thing I see is I kind of see Matt going in and out of the fog there, or Beatty going in and out of the fog, but you saw everything. I couldn't see anything.
Well, Matt Wieskamp is dialed in on the passing game tonight, and Spencer Beatty, that's his 3rd touchdown catch that I can think of. Robertson caught one, so Wieskamp has 4 touchdown passes. There's the PAT from Yates, And it is good. 3:03 to play in the third. The Muskies 36, the Little Hawks 29. We're stepping away for 30. You listen to Muskie football. Bates Field, Iowa City High School. The Muskies, here's how you answer a drive. One play, 68 yards, Wieskamp to Beatty. That's Matt Wieskamp's fourth touchdown pass. He also ran for a touchdown, and your senior leader is really bringing his A game tonight. That's Spencer Beatty's third touchdown reception. And it's nice to have Spencer Beatty back in the fold and feeling healthy, Jim.
Well, you aren't kidding. And a gutsy call by Coach Mueller with his fog. I didn't think they'd be doing a lot of passing.
Yates will kick, and there's a kick. It's a squibber, and it's picked up, I believe, by Gross this time. He's out over the 30. Oh, he's hit hard. It's Fletcher out near the 40. Great field position again by City High at the 41. So the Muskies trying to squib it, and both times City High's run it out of there with great field position.
Yeah, unfortunately, our squib kick didn't work, and they're starting out with a very good field position, almost to midfield there. Looks like the fog's letting up a little bit on the field.
Yeah, it's not as thick as it was, so that's good for us anyway. The Muskies seem to be playing really well in it offensively, so yeah. I'm not so sure they don't mind the fog.
Kind of reminds me of the night that we were up at Bettendorf in a playoff game, and it got really foggy, and we ended up beating Bettendorf up there to advance, and that was a great, great game. I remember jumping over the fence, and it was awesome.
Trips left for City High as Jim Miller recalling one of his nights where he jumped over a fence to celebrate. Purdue in the backfield, and he's going to get the handoff, and the Muskies have got a couple guys waiting for him there. Hart was on the stop along with Robertson and Talon Burke. Short gain on the play.
I tell you, they actually, you can tell they went in at halftime. Coaches got together, said, hey, here's what's going on. Here's what we need to be doing, and the kids are responding to that, and that's why you like halftime in football, because you can make adjustments, and as long as you come out and do the right things, that halftime was very valuable.
We'll call it second down and a long 8, just short of the 43. Gain of about a yard and a half. Whelan gets a snap. He's going to keep this one over the left side. Muskie stringing out on the play, but he eludes a tackle and he slips down. And he's going to lose a lot of yards on this one as Garrett Robertson really made him pay there, Jim.
Yeah, Robertson was spread out a little wider in his linebacker position. Came up, put the hit on him, and then Robertson fell, and then Whelan slipped on the grass. So worked out beautifully.
Loss all the way back to the 37, a loss of 6. It'll be third down and 14 from the 37-yard line.
Big third down play coming up, Brian.
1:34 and ticking in the third. The Muskies lead 36-29 in a shootout at Bates Field. Whelan gets snapped, fumbles it. It's on the ground. Now he picks it up, rushes on. He rolls to the right. He throws, and it is intercepted by Isaiah Smith. Zeke to the 20, 15. Isaiah Smith to the house. Touchdown, Muskies. Isaiah Smith on a great interception out near the 45-yard line. I'm not sure officially where he caught it. He bobbled it, and Smith turned on the Jets, Jim, eluded a tackler at about the 20, and Zeke Smith high steps it into the end zone. The Muskies up 42-29.
Well, they played that beautifully, Brian. Isaiah saw the pass coming, got right in front of it, and just took off.
Yates on for the PAT, and the Muskies have come out firing on all cylinders. Their third touchdown here in the third quarter. 1:15 to play in the third. Snap is good, the hold is good, and the kick by Yates is good. 1:15 to play in the third. The Muskies 43, the Little Hawks 29. We're stepping away for 30 seconds. Just a Muskie football. You know, we're back at Bates Field, and the Muskies lead 43-29, a minute 15 to play in the third. Isaiah Smith plays both ways, offense, defense, and he's sitting there going, you know what? I'm not getting touchdown receptions. I'm going to steal one and take it in. And unofficially, it's around 45-yard interception and return by Isaiah Smith on a terrific play. Watch that on Channel 9 this weekend. It'll get you out of your chair.
It was a great interception, and he just, when he caught it and he started running, I knew there was only one place he was going, and that was the end zone. And the fog's starting to come back on the field.
Now the Muskies are pinning them down a little bit, 14 up, and that may force City High a little out of their game plan to throw a little more, I would assume, as we head into the fourth here. Muskies doing a good job. Dakota Peterson on for the kickoff, and he kicks it. And it's a high kick down the middle, and it's going to be Whelan roughly around his 5. He fumbles it again. It's on the ground. And the Muskies swallow it up inside the 10. Jaime Aguilera was the first man down there, and Whelan gets it, fumbled it, and he picked it up, and there were several Muskies waiting for him. Inside the 10, I'm not sure exactly where this will be spotted yet. That's the foggiest part of the field.
It is, and I tell you what, he got it way up in the fog. And that had to have been tough for Whelan to see. And, Brian, they just adjusted so well at halftime defensively. And like you said, stopping that run is a key because it is going to make them have to pass a little bit.
It looks like about, we'll say the 8-yard line. I'm going with the scoreboard on this. 8-yard line, 1st and 10. Last time the Muskies had them pinned this deep in the first half, City High actually went on a 98-yard drive.
Well, they had that big pass, and we got to watch that.
Whelan and Fredo in the backfield. Double tights. And there's a snap. It's going to be a shovel pass the other way to McKinney again. And he runs it up over the 15. And he's going to be close to a first down. And he may have it. That shovel pass has been their bread and butter in a passing game.
Well, it sure has. And this McKinney kid is a great athlete himself.
It is a first down. They're going to gain 11 to the 19. It'll be 1st and 10 City High. Clock's under a minute and running here in the third. The Muskies with a 3-touchdown explosion as they've outscored the Little Hawks 21-8 here in the third. There's Whelan. He gives to Fredo over the left side. Muskies are there waiting for him. And he gets it out over the 20 to about the 22-23, a short gain.
Well, as the game's gone on, Fredo's not coming through that line quite as quick as he was in the first and second quarter. And I'm sure, he's ran the ball a ton tonight, so he's got to be getting gassed.
Gain of 3 to the 22, 2nd and 7. This could be the last play of the third quarter. Clock at 15 and ticking. Whelan overlooks the Muskie defense. Gets a snap. He gives to Fredo over the left side. Muskie's there waiting for him again, and down he goes. Another short gain of maybe a yard. And, folks, we've played 3. The Muskies 43. The Little Hawks 29. We're going to step away for 60 seconds. You're listening to Muskie Football. Back at Bates Field, Brian Musell, Jim Miller, and the stat doctor. 3 quarters are in the books. The Muskies trailed this one at one time, 21-13. Led 22-21 at the half, and they've exploded for 3 TDs. here in the third quarter, and they lead City High 43-29, Jim.
And Brian Whelan's got 147 yards for the night so far. Frideau's got 154 for 301 yards offensively, rushing for the Little Hawks.
But those numbers have slowed down considerably after halftime, and actually late in the second quarter, the Muskies made some great adjustments. There's a give this time for over the right side. He's got room again, and he's got some room. Summers chases him down. Actually, he's taken down finally on the play. Looks like Isaiah Smith as he has a first down run over the 45 to the 46 and a gain of 22.
Well, that's the Frideau we were seeing in the first and second quarter. And we got to keep our handles on that guy.
Muskies can get off the field here and put points on again, or at least chew clock. They're going to force City High into throwing the ball a little bit. Right now they can still run it down 2 scores in a full quarter. This one goes to Frideau, and he's got another big hole. Look out, and he gets tripped up by Greenhaw. Otherwise, he's in the end zone. Another gaping hole, and it's down to the 41-yard line of Muscatine territory. We'll call this one a gain of 14.
Well, the Muskies won the third quarter. We need to win this fourth quarter as well. And right now it's going all City High as we start the fourth quarter.
43-29 Muskies, 11-15 and ticking in the game. Whelan in the backfield. Frideau, he's got a fullback, Fletcher. There's a give as he stumbles. Frideau again, another big hole inside the 40, down to about the 37-yard line. Actually, inside the 35 to the 33.
You know, the only good thing about this is they're chewing up a lot of clock right now, running that ball, keeping it on the ground.
Spot at the 32, gain of 9, 2nd and 1. Muskies need a hold. McKinney now in the backfield. Frideau's tired. There's a give to McKinney over the right side. He's got some running room. He's going to get a first down before Lopez brings him to the ground. Down near the 25 at the 26, a gain of 6, 1st and 10 Little Hawks. They're not taking that much time, Jim.
Well, I tell you what, he's got a lot of weapons on that side. McKinney, Frideau, Whelan. I mean, this team is stacked with runners.
McKinney and Fletcher in the backfield as they go power. 2 tight ends. Whelan, play action pass. Hart's in pursuit, throws it out, and it's complete and out of bounds, and it looks like another first down inside the 15-yard line. Let's see where they spot this. And we've got an official's timeout, I believe, for a measurement, as I can't give you an accurate assessment of where this football is. That's the cloudiest part of the field. 10:05 to play. The Muskies 43, the Little Hawks 29. Little Hawks driving again.
You said that you saw the first down marker. I didn't even see it.
Well, I can see that. That's
well, I can
nice
see it
and
now,
orange.
but
Yeah.
when it was over there, they brought it out on the field.
It's going to be just short. By how much? We have no idea. Inches. We'll just say inches. Just outside the 16-yard line. .05. 2nd and 1 Little Hawks as they're up to the line of scrimmage ready to roll. They know they need the clock on their side here. Fletcher and McKinney in the backfield. 2 tight ends.
Boy, we need a
Grant
big
Fellows to
break.
the left. Whelan gives to McKinney. He's got a big hole on the left side. He may score, and he does. Touchdown run by DeJuan McKinney, his 2nd touchdown of the night. The 9:59 mark, a 17-yard run on 2nd and 1, and it's Muscatine 43 and Iowa City High 35.
Well, just like that, they marched right downfield, Brian. That time their run game was back in sync with their play calling, and Coach Sabers, he sticks with the game plan, and he says we're gonna beat you with the run, and you gotta stop us. And by golly, we couldn't do it that time.
They're going to go for 2 as they trail by 8. kind of a strange call here, but they give it to McKinney, and he's stacked up. The Muskies going to hold. The Muskies hold. 43-35, 9:59 to play in the game. We're stepping away for 30. Back at Bates Field, Iowa City High, Iowa City Little Hawks dock. Big long drive there, 9 plays, 92 yards. A little over 3 minutes off the clock, and they cut it to 43-35. But Jim, a little unusual there. We thought they'd kick the PAT. They went for 2 down 8, and now if they Muskies don't score, they have to go for 2 to tie it. And there's an onside kick. The Muskies hopefully are ready, and Yates has it right there at midfield. Muskies weren't in that formation, but Yates, with good hands, covers it up at midfield. So the Muskies a great field position.
Great field position. I'm going to tell you, they practice that every single day in practice. The onside kick, because you never know when it's going to happen, and you want to make sure your boys are ready.
Muskies go twins left. Reed and Robertson to the right. Looks like Beatty to the left. Wieskamp barks out the commands, gets a snap, back to pass, looks downfield, he checks it, and it's incomplete, short of Beatty at the 37. It'll be 2nd and 10 Muskies. Got to mention the guys up front, Jake. Offensively, you're not hearing a lot of names, obviously. It's Brennan Salmary, Tallenberg, Jake Musell, Clayton Goddard, and Michael Mansager. You haven't heard a lot about them because they've just done a nice job creating holes and protecting Matt tonight.
Oh, fantastic job by those horses.
2nd and 10 for midfield, 4 wide for the Muskies. They give to Johnson. Johnson's got a hold down to the 46. Gain of 4, it'll be 3rd down and 6.
You know, he almost broke that, Brian. I thought he was going to. He just got tripped up by his feet. Otherwise, he was going to get a 1st down.
Exactly. An ankle tackle, or Kevin would have gained much bigger yards there. 3rd down and a long 6. The ball's just outside the 46. In Little Hawk territory. Big 3rd down play for the Muskie offense. Trips left. They haven't been stopped yet in the second half. Wieskamp looks over the defense. Now he gets a snap. Matt back to pass, sets his feet, pats it, throws, got a man complete. 1st down yardage inside the 40 to the 39. And it's 1st down Muscatine, a gain of 7. Let me see who caught that, because that was kind of in a...
I think that was Roberson, wasn't it?
Colin McGriff with the catch.
Colin McGriff.
1st down Muskies at the 39. Colin McGriff with a big catch. That might be Colin's first of the season.
It might be, but it came at a big time, didn't it?
Big catch by the senior, who's had a terrific senior season. Trips right for the Muskies. McGriff to the left as he's out there on the field.
You can't see him from here.
I can't see him, but we know that's him because that's the same guy that just caught it. Ellis and Wieskamp in the backfield. Clock now ticking as the Muskies get a fresh set of downs. They can burn some more clock here. Wieskamp taking his time. That's the advantage of seeing a play clock. Matt gets it. He gives to Devontae over the left side. He's got some room. 35-30. Ellis inside the 25 to the 22. And Devontae Ellis rips off 17. And the Muskies have 1st down.
What a great run by Devontae, and what a big hole the guys up front just made for Devontae. And that's great when you can run and get big yardage like that. And the Muskies are doing a great job, getting the clock down. And Matt's looking at that play clock, and he's told you don't snap it till there's 7 seconds on that clock.
Gain of 18 to the 21. Trips right for the Muskies. Wieskamp and Ellis still in the backfield. There's a give to Devontae over the left side. He gets to the edge, and he bangs over a tackler at about the 16. We'll call it a gain of 5. 2nd and 5, and more importantly, Ellis stayed in bounds.
I was going to say, no way does Jake want him getting out of bounds. He wants him to stay in bounds. The clock is our friend.
That's your senior workhorse, Devontae Ellis. 2nd down, we'll call it 6. Inside the 17. Same formation for the Muskies. Play clock's inside at 10 as Wieskamp taking his time. Matt gets a snap. He keeps it this time on his own read on the outside. Matt's going to have a first down, and he's inside the 10. It'll be 1st and goal Muskies.
Well, that's how you do it, Brian. You get yourself some first downs, keep the ball on the ground, keep that clock going, and that's what wins ball games.
Ball's going to be spotted. Looks like the 8-yard line. We'll call it a gain of 9. 1st and goal Muskies from the Little Hawk 8. 7:20 and ticking. The Muskies 43. Iowa City High 35. Shootout at Bates Field tonight. Trips right for the Muskies. Isaiah Smith wide left. Wieskamp gets it. He's going to keep it. Dances up into the middle. Not a lot of room that time. Matt's going to lose. Actually, he's going to gain a yard or two. It'll be 2nd and goal.
Nothing hurt by that play, Nothing hurt. You're still taking time off the clock. Matt's going to, they're going to be keeping on the ground. I'd be shocked if we see a pass from here on out from the Muskies.
In a perfect world, you'd like to run it in on 3rd down, right, Jim?
Yeah.
Run another play, then run it in on 3rd and chew more clock and score.
In a perfect world, run it in on 4th.
Well, you don't want to take that chance, do you?
But if you score.
Twins right. Wieskamp. Now Beatty's in motion. Wieskamp gives to Ellis. He's stacked up and wrestled down inside the 5, and it's going to be 3rd and goal.
Well, this is a big 3rd down for the Muskies. Played it a little conservative the first 2 plays. Now we might have to open it up a little bit because you really want to score. And I got to think that we don't score here. Jake's got to bring that field goal team out.
3rd down and goal from the 4. A gain of 2 for Devontae. Trips right for the Muskies. Same formation. City High stacking the box a little bit here. There's Wieskamp back to pass. Rocket screen to Smith. He's going to walk. Oh, is he in? Touchdown, Muscatine. I waited for the signal because I couldn't tell where he landed. And it's a 4-yard strike. And there's Isaiah Smith getting a touchdown on offense.
And there's
He's
a
got
pass.
One on defense. And that's Matt Wieskamp's 5th touchdown pass of the night. And the Muskies go up top 49-35. And now Yates is on for the PAT. And this is where not kicking the PAT for City High looms very large if Tyler Yates makes this. There's a snap on the ground. Sloan picks it up, and he looks to throw. He fires, and it's intercepted by Whelan, and it's a dead ball. So the Muskies fail on their 2nd play or point after touchdown tonight. We're going to step away for 30 seconds. The Muskies lead 49-35. You listen to Muskie Football. Back at Bates Field, and the Muskies 4 possessions in the 2nd half, and they've got, Doc's got some stats here. The Muskies, 9 plays, 51 yards, a 4-yard pass from Wieskamp, Isaiah Smith, Matt Wieskamp with 4 touchdown passes and a rushing touchdown. Isaiah Smith, who caught that one, also has an interception return for a touchdown. So what a night, what a shootout, and great high school football here offensively. Peterson will kick.
Got to kick it deep, Brian.
There's the approach by Dakota and a high kickoff in the fog, and it's going to be Whelan at the 4. He's to the 10, 15, 20. Look out. Oh, and a great open field tackle by Garrett Robertson, Jim, because he had a room to run there. But, boy, Robertson laid out and got him down at about the 26.
Yeah, Matt's got 5 TDs tonight, Brian. That's huge. Garrett Robertson is such a great player. I'm so happy for this kid. He has just done a fantastic job. Hey, some of our sponsors, I haven't really gotten to them, All Season Glass, Members Credit Union, Chamberlain Heating and Cooling, Bogey Motors, Rich Metals, Muscatine IV, Vision Center PC, and River Rehabilitation Physical Therapy.
Full house backfield, not full house. Power I, looks like. We've got Fletcher and Ferdue in the backfield. Whelan gives straight up to get to Ferdue, and he's got some running room. He's over the 30, and he's going to get a first down over the 35 to about the 39.
This kid is just tough. He just runs hard, doesn't he?
They may not throw, Jim, but they're not going to huddle now, so they are in a hurry-up run offense. 5:30 and ticking. Muskie's up by 2 touchdowns. Whelan gets a snap, gives to Frito over the right side. Schroeder runs him down from behind, and Summers is there waiting also. He's going to gain 3 or 4, but the Muskies will take that and make him chip away with small gains.
You betcha. That's what you got to do.
Ball's going to be spotted on the 42-yard line, a gain of 3. It'll be 2nd and 7 for City High. Frito in the backfield, Whelan. Long time to snap, but he bobbles the snap. Now he's back to pass, throws it. He's got a man in the flat, Fletcher, and the Muskies get him to the ground. Boy, he's a tough kid, doesn't want to come down. And out of bounds at about the 46, 47-yard line.
Didn't get the first down. Still short.
Short of the first down, it'll be 3rd and 1.
Big
depending
third
on the
down.
spot.
Big third down coming up, Brian.
Clock at 4:40 and ticking. Whelan under center. He gives to Ferdue over the right side. Muskie stack it up, but he's going to get a first down. Brought down by Summers and
I think
Burke.
Sabres just called it. Did he call timeout? Nope.
No, they stopped the clock
Yeah,
for the
but
first down.
The official was right by Sabres. I thought maybe he called a timeout.
Ball's at midfield now. 1st and 10 Little Hawks as they get a fresh set of downs with 4.5 to play. Muskies 49, Little Hawks 35. Trips right for City High. Whelan gets a snap. He rolls to the right. He's going to throw this one. He looks downfield, throws. And I can't see anything.
The fog
but
is
it is
worse.
complete, I believe, and out of bounds. Well, the Muskies are clapping, so I'm not sure. Well, they're moving the sticks. Folks, really, really am sorry because that far side is pretty cloudy. And it's going to be a first down. We'll see the spot. The spot's going to be on the 39. We'll call it a gain of 11. 1st and 10 City High. In Muscatine territory. Muskie's got to stiffen up here. Whelan gets it, gives to Ferdue. Up the gut, he's hitting the backfield, but he spins off a tackler. And he's going to gain 3 down to the 36, 2nd and 7.
Well, you can really feel the hurry up by this offense for City High.
Clocks.
We need to hold them, Brian.
Twins left, clock's under 4 now. Whelan gets it, back to pass, sets his feet, looks downfield, throws. He's got Ferdue in the flat. He breaks a tackle, breaks another tackle, hit hard from behind by Sal Mary, but he's going to gain 4 or 5. Muskie's had a chance to throw him for a loss there. He's down to the 33. We'll call it a gain of 3. It'll be 3rd and 4 for City High at the 3.5-minute mark.
Huge third down here, folks.
4 down territory for the Little Hawks as they go trips right. Ferdue, boy, he's going to want to be in a hot tub or the ice bath later. Whelan gives to, actually he keeps it over the right side. Nice deception.
He's still
and
going.
He's got a big run down inside the 15-yard line. Summers brings him down again, sophomore on sophomore.
Yeah, Whelan just faked it to Ferdue and kept it and disappeared in the fog.
Huskies need to keep him out here if they can. The ball's going to be spotted on the 16. 1st and 10 after a 17-yard run by Nate Whelan. Clock's running as they're in the fog. Whelan gives to Fredo over the left side, and he's brought down from behind. It looks like Talon Burke in on the stop, along with Summers once again. The two leading tacklers for the Muskies are getting their work in tonight. Call it a gain of 2. 2nd and 8 from the 14. Whelan gets a snap. He keeps it. He's back to pass. Rushes on. Flares out. Got a man complete. And he's going to be just shy. Actually, he's in. Touchdown. City High on a nice play action pass. And let's see who caught that one. I can't. Jim, can you see? Number 4. It's Fletcher.
Yeah, number 4.
Eric Fletcher on a nice catch. Boy, he paid the price. And at the 2:34 mark now, it's 49-41 Muskies.
Boy, I'm glad you can see, because I can't see a thing, Brian.
It's gotten worse again as Brennan is on for the PAT. Both teams with 3 timeouts, and boy, this is quite the shootout tonight in Iowa City. High snap. Brennan on for the PAT. The kick is up, and the kick is good. 2:34 to play, 49-42 Muskies. We're stepping away for 30 seconds. So back at Bates Field in City High. Got a memo here from a Muskie fan who made the trip back to Muscatine. And folks, if you're listening and you're here at the game, please be careful on the way home. They said the fog is really, really bad on the drive. City High goes 10 plays there, and they cap it off with a 16-yard pass to Fletcher from Whelan. The total yardage, 74 yards, 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Muskie's got to be really looking for the onside kick here because they have not been able to stop our offense. 2:34 to play.
Well, look for the onside kick here, Brian.
There's the kick. It's an onside kick on the ground, and it's going to go out of bounds, and the Muskies catch a break there because it eluded 2 guys, and it was actually, we didn't have any support coming up behind that. It got out of bounds on the 33-yard line. So the Muskies will take over. And their job now is City High with 3 timeouts.
Run the clock out.
Muskie's got to run this thing out and get on the bus and go home. Ball will be spotted, actually, I believe, on the 37-yard line, where they'll take over. Muskies have trips left, and I'm not sure who they are, but I can tell you it's probably Reed, Robertson, and Smith because Beatty's to the right. Ellis in the backfield with Wieskamp on 1st and 10. 2:34 to play. Big drive. They give to Ellis over the right side. Devontae powers it up over the 40 to the 41. A nice gain on 1st down of about 4 and a timeout Iowa City.
Yeah, if I'm Coach Mueller, I'm telling my running backs, listen, guys, you just got to run as hard as you've ever ran. We've got the ball. We just got to keep getting 1st downs. That's going to keep the clock going. And, folks, you're going to see what we're seeing, and it's not much because the fog's gotten so bad right now we can't even see the Muskie sidelines. We can't see from about the hash marks over there over. We can see our numbers on this side, and that's about it. It's getting hard to see the scoreboard, Brian.
Yeah, the scoreboard's got that nice red lighting. That's I can see that. Now, if you can't see that,
I can see it, but
you do need to check in with the stat doctor.
I said it's getting harder to see.
You said you could hardly see it.
Did I?
Yes.
Darn it. I hate it when you correct me.
Timeout on the field. City High with 2 left. The Muskies with all 3 of theirs. Muskies get a first down here, Jim. That'll go a long way to securing this one in a hard-fought road game tonight. They don't want to see overtime. Trips left as we have the same formation. Ellis and Wieskamp in the backfield. Matt's going to keep it this time, and he goes around the left side. Matt's got some running room, and he's going to be up near the sticks. I think he's going to be short. Can't tell, folks, but I know he gained a few yards there. We'll have to see. I know this was the reminiscent of the Bears-Eagles Fog Bowl. Stayed in bounds, and now City High will burn their second timeout. We're going to step away for 30 seconds. Don't stop believing, Muskie fans. 3rd down and 6 for the Muskies. The ball spotted, it looks like, Doc, on the 41-yard line, huh? So Matt gains short yardage on the last play. Jim Miller sending another text message out of the booth.
Oh, there's
3rd down and 6 from outside the 41. Muskies go 4 wide. There's Wieskamp on the keeper on the left side. He's got some room, and I think he's got the first down. And that's a huge first down out near the 49-yard line, and that's your senior playmaker. He's done it all year. He does it again. First down Muskies are going to call this on 49, as Jim Miller can't. We can see the light standards. Yeah, it's thick, folks.
I can't see. I use my binoculars.
We got to be gamers. You got to suck it up, Miller. Don't worry about this.
I have to take my glasses off just to look in the binoculars.
Trips right. The Muskies going to chew up as much clock as they can. $1.50. City High can stop it one more time. Wieskamp gets a snap. He gives to Johnson. Johnson busts up the middle. Secure that football, and Kevin does, and he gains 7 or 8 right up the middle. And now the Muskies are imposing their will. And, Jim, we're going to leave it right here. City High burns their last time out.
You know, I got to tell you, Brian, this is where that center quarterback exchange is huge. And you
in the gun, yes.
If you in the fog, I mean, in the gun, in the fog, but. You know, you got to have that relationship, and Matt certainly has a great relationship with his center, and they've worked together, and they're in sync. Jake knows he can just hike it back there. Matt knows it's going to come right to him because it's got to be hard for Matt to even see that ball come out of there as well.
8-yard gain for Johnson that time, down to the Little Hawk 40. Well, we'll say it's a 43. It'll be 2nd and 2 Muskies. No timeouts remaining for City High. 1:38 to play, and the Muskies lead 49-42.
Well, we knew it was going to be a shootout. We said at the beginning, these Little Hawk teams are always good. Sabres is an awesome coach, and he's got some great teams.
I have no idea how this team is 2-6.
I don't either.
They're better than most of the teams that we've seen this year. They're a good football team going into the playoffs. There's Wieskamp. He gives this one straight up the gut. The Muskies going to get a first down, and you can put this one in the books, as that looks like Devontae Ellis this time down inside the 35 on a hard run of 8. And the offensive line, Jim, answered the bell when they had to. They had needed to finish this one off up front, and tip of the hat to them. They've done it.
Absolutely, they have done it. Those guys up there worked hard. They don't get a lot of credit, Brian. They're not the ones that are getting in the end zone, but they're the ones that are making it happen.
Clock's ticking, under 1:14, and Wieskamp's going to take a knee here. He's going to let this thing tick all the way down. And now the Muskies burn a timeout. 106 to play, 49-42. Muskies were stepping away for 30. As the Muskies come out in victory formation with 106 to play. There's Wieskamp, takes a snap and goes down to one knee. And this one's ticking away. And boy, it wasn't easy, Jim.
No, it never is easy to come into Iowa City, play a good City High team. You don't come in here and get an easy victory by any means. And I'm not sure what they're...
Well, the play clock was down to 12, and they hadn't even started the. It was I don't know what happened there. I don't know if there's no way they can keep this alive. And we're in a booth right next to the guys keeping the clock. Oh boy. Anyway, nothing's ever easy. 30 and ticking. Wieskamp waiting. He should down it one more time, and the Muskies can hit the bus. And there goes Matt to the knee. And the clock's ticking, and we're under 25. And, folks, they don't have to snap again. And this was a tough one going on the road to City High on senior night. And the good news, the Muskies are going to win this one 49-42, and they will host a playoff game Wednesday night at Muscatine Community Stadium as they finish the regular season 7-2. City High falls to 2-7. Get out and support these guys next week. Final score, the Muskies 49, City High 42.